Hey everybody, this is Dwight Peters from quarterwaters.com, the site for social entrepreneurs. Where social entrepreneurs come on the program, they talk about the issues they're tackling, the impact they're making, and share helpful business tips along the way. If you're watching this program, it's because you want to change the world. You came to the right spot. Now, in today's program, we have with us Adrien Edwards, and he is the founder of The Naked Hippie. The Naked Hippie is a social business that incorporates microloans into its fashion brand. Adrien, welcome to the program, man.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, man. It's a pleasure for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, you have a really exciting story, so I want to make sure that I capture it in the best way I possibly can. I'm not going to start out with the obvious question. We're going to get there eventually of, how did the name The Naked Hippie come up?
Right.
But I want you to take me back to 2007, man. What happened in 2007? That was a pretty rough year.
Yeah. I mean, several things happened in my life that's kind of developed me over time. But 2007 I think it was like, yeah, it was actually even a little bit before that. My lung collapsed. I had that happen. That took a while of recovering, and it's actually during that time that I actually got big into the organic thing too, just because out of necessity, because I was I had to change my diet, everything had to kind of adjust. Then more recently, even in 2010, unfortunately, my father passed away,
Yeah.
which was which is a really big thing for me. Really changed perspectives, really, pushed me further in the direction. So those were really big times for me in my life. That's kind of inspired a lot of what I've done since then.
And as an entrepreneur, your last business, that was in 2007 as well, right?
Yeah. As an entrepreneur, I had a golf business,
Yeah.
a golf accessory business, and um, that was interesting. We'd done a commercial, and we'd done all these different types of things. I mean, great experience. I got a manufacturer in China while I was still in college.
Yeah.
That was an interesting venture there. But so anyway, we got into all these stores and all that. Then 2008 hits, all the stores were in close. The big company that I dealt with for like a year and a half to try to get our product licensed for college brands and all that.
Yeah.
After a year and a half, just stopped answering my phone calls. Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. I kind of like the thing that Tony Robbins says: you either have success or you have a story.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, on that one, we had a kind of a more of a story than anything else. But it was extraordinary as far as a learning experience, and it's the type of stuff that, I mean, it's like going to college 20 times in a row. It's so much
Yeah.
experience packed in a short period of time.
The reason why I wanted you to start out with that is because you know, 2007, 2008 was a rough time. That's when a lot, the downhill started. But you were able to bounce back. When did this idea come up? It was around that time that the Naked Hippie came to your thought.
Yeah, well, it was a little bit. I'd started doing T-shirts just as kind of an auxiliary thing to the golf thing. So I was experienced with the printing, the different types of printing, all that kind of stuff. And even then, we were doing digital printing, which is more water-based, so a little more eco-friendly and all that.
Okay.
And then, so I was like, okay, well, the golf thing, not really the greatest time for that right now. Let's switch gears, and always trying to, innovate, trying to do something. And I was sitting with a friend of mine. And I was like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? And T-shirts. I was like, all right, yeah, we can do T-shirts. And I'd gotten big into graphic design. I taught myself graphic design. I've been doing it for like 7, 8 years now.
Yeah.
And then the Naked Hippie kind of came to mind. It obviously wasn't the name yet.
Yeah.
So we were sitting down, and everybody wonders about the name. Like, what's the deal with the name? And the big thing is that, like, we were sitting around thinking, okay, what are we going to call this thing? And we won a T-shirt company. It was almost very loose as a concept because it
Yeah.
didn't come out all together all at once.
Adrian, do me one favor.
Yeah.
Just double click on your camera. You froze.
Oh, okay. Let me. Okay, let me know.
All right, there we go. So yeah, so you were saying it was a loose concept, you know?
Yeah, it was a loose concept at first, and because we were just thinking about T-shirts and that kind of thing. And my big thing is, I had actually been doing microloans
Yeah,
for a decent amount of time. Like I'd actually been participating in on an individual level, just because I absolutely love the concept. I love the fact that you were affecting somebody's life with what you go spend at Starbucks every day or something like that.
yeah,
And that kind of built out into, well, why don't we kind of change the model a little bit? Because, a lot of people know Tom Shoes.
yeah,
They're a great company. They're doing a lot of good for people. But I was just like, there's a step beyond that. I think that's the first step. The buy one, give one model is kind of like the first step. And then the step beyond that
yeah,
is the point where we say, okay, these people they might need handouts immediately just to get them over a hump, but ultimately what's going to create lasting change is allowing them, giving them a hand up
yeah,
more, or allowing them to change their own lives. So I decided, okay, what if, since they're microloans, what we can actually invest in people, get that money back, and then reinvest in other people, and it's much more sustainable, and it creates a much larger spectrum of change.
yeah,
So I was thinking, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool, and the teas kind of developed almost around that concept, in that they were statement teas. So they were making a statement, they were making a difference, they were saying something that we believed in. So
yeah,
we're talking about fair trade, talking about investing in the country, or just talking about organic cotton or things like that.
yeah.
It all kind of came together, and the second it did, it was just like, oh, that's it. We're in love now.
Yeah.
You know?
And then when it came together, so how did the name now? Now I come in with how
Ah,
did the name come up?
right. The day came up. So all right. So we were thinking about it. Okay, we're big into to organics. The majority of what we have is organic. So or recycled. So we're like, okay, naked is kind of the term for that. And we're in a way we're kind of hippies. Like we're in our thinking, like we take showers and we do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
We enjoy the modern amenities and all that, but in a way we kind of are in our thinking and the way that we perceive the world. So it's more of a philosophical almost usage of the word than an actual literal one. So it was just kind of playing around with the different words, writing them down, and I think the words just kind of came together by themselves on the paper, how it sometimes happens. And
yeah.
we were like, we're the Naked Hippie. That's it.
And that's how the story begins. All right,
That's how the story begins.
before we get any further, can you just click on your camera one more time? I don't know if
Is
it's the
it is
Wi-Fi.
it still doing it?
Yeah, it's still doing it.
Let me, okay. Let's see. Now I see you. Now I should be good, right?
Give it a couple of seconds.
I shut everything down. I'm running on a Mac right now. I'm shutting everything down
All right.
to make sure nothing's slowing it down. It seems to be running fairly quickly. I see you fine, and you're going smoothly. So
But you don't see yourself, right?
yeah, I see myself in the bottom left corner. Yeah, and it seems smoothly. I don't know. Hmm.
I don't see. All I see is your avatar.
Okay, let's try it again. Let me know when I come
All
up.
right, cool. So you're back. All right.
Perfect.
You know this stuff happens, man. I don't edit my videos. I let people know. I just throw it up because I just want to keep the same vibe going. All
Oh,
right.
that's
So you guys come up with the brand. You guys come up with the concept behind it. I think that's a very interesting thing that you stated that you're really looking at charity versus empowerment.
exactly.
I had Tony Chen on the program. He's one of the founders of Movement One to One, and we had a long discussion about that. Why charity doesn't work, and he's looking at it from the same angle as you. He said, charity's a beautiful thing, but if
Mm-hmm.
we really want to make things work, in his words, or I'm subtexting him, subquoting him, he said, you know, charity will always create a dynamic where a person is dependent on the other person. So
Exactly.
you want to break that dependability. You want to empower people, and I can
Exactly.
see where your microloans is working. So what was your first step now? So you have the idea, you have experience in the t-shirt business to a certain extent. You have
Right.
a little graphic design experience. What was the next step? Was this bootstrap, and how much?
Absolutely. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was definitely bootstrapped because I had learned a lot of lessons from the previous one.
Yeah.
Um, I learned what not to do is a lot of them.
Like
Uh,
what? Break that
and
down for aspiring social entrepreneurs that are watching this program, and they're just about to get into something and they don't want to make that same mistake. So what did you learn?
well, I learned that the lack of money produces innovation.
Yes.
When you have a lot of money, you get lazy.
Mm.
You just tend to think that money is the solution to all things, and it really isn't. Um, you come up with a lot better ideas, a lot better concepts, a lot better procedures when the lack of money is there. And then when the money comes, it just empowers whatever's already there.
Yeah.
But if you've got that laziness and you're kind of thinking, oh, if I don't have 10 grand, if I don't have 100 grand, I can't do this. No, I mean honestly, at the beginning, no inventory. We were just selling things, as they came. We were printing them and we were making them, and from there, it kind of grew out of there. So, I mean, I think the initial investment might have been a couple $100.
Couple
Um,
hundred. Can you
you
share with our viewers where your revenues for this year? Are you guys allowed to speak on that?
yeah, we're still. I have to think about it because we're still starting up. We officially launched, I guess, January. We launched July preliminary, just kind
Yeah.
of feeling everything out. And officially launched January, but the only thing we know so far is we're on track to hit our goal of 5,000 microloans
All right.
by the end of the year, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Things like being on Open Sky and different platforms, being featured by Alicia Silverstone's kind of helped that along.
Yeah.
And coming into summer months, of course, that's going to increase too. But yeah, so I mean, it was like, yeah, it was a couple $100 at the beginning. I learned how to build my own site, so I did that.
Yeah.
The graphic design was already there, so did that. So I mean, everything was really, really bootstrapped, and it alleviated some pressure,
Yeah.
and it also created some innovation.
Yeah. So, all right. So you guys get these shirts up and running. Who were some of your first buyers? Bring me back to that experience of selling your first tee, and who was it to?
Oh, it was definitely exciting. It was you know what? I didn't want to do the family and friend thing, It's like it's always like, okay, yeah, your first order, oh, you're all excited, oh, but it's to a friend or it's to a
Yeah.
family. It's like I was really excited about the fact that it was somebody we didn't know.
Yeah.
That was the big first thing. And I think it was somebody in Michigan or something like that. I don't know, but it was just like a random person came to our site, loved our concept, loved the tea, and bought it. And that's one of those moments where you get really excited about the little things.
Yeah.
That was it.
It's the little things that keep you going, man. I
It's
can't.
it's progress. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Progress is what keeps you alive. Whether you hit every goal or not, that's not the biggest thing. But if you progress, that just it gives you that energy, that drive. I mean, we got people ordering from. We don't ship typically to Europe,
Yeah.
but we got orders from Sweden a couple times where they're paying like $12 in shipping
Yeah.
just to get the shirt over there. We had somebody the other day from Canada saying, "Oh, I saw on your FAQ page that you didn't ship to Canada, but I really, really hope you do because I want to be a part of it."
Yeah.
I mean, when you get that feeling where people actually just they want to be a part of what you're doing, that's exciting.
Yeah. It definitely is, man. Um, I just, as we were talking before this, I told you, I'm really dedicating the rest of my years, especially starting with this year, of only shopping with cause brands.
Yeah.
We talked about that a little because, more and more social entrepreneurs are popping up, and this is the perfect time to start supporting one another. And, just to show the bigger global community that there are companies that are producing great results because of the business model that you guys are making. So we talked about the issue you're tackling. We talked about the impact that you guys want to create. So what partner are you guys established with for your microloans, or how does your microloans work?
Oh, so we have there are several different actually groups on the ground level that invest and find the people first to invest in, because
Yeah.
just anybody. It's people who have either an existing business or a solid concept. And when I say business, I even hate to use the term business, because people always get this picture in their head, like, driving Ferraris and everything,
Yeah.
talking about, selling fruit on the, side of the street, just
Yeah.
needing inventory, that kind of stuff. And so these individual groups, since they're on the ground levels, they can qualify them. They're established. It's something that was started a while ago with the Grameen Bank, and they started investing highly in India. And there's actually a huge network. It's not as popular of a thing, but there's an enormous network of these different groups that are investing on the small level. And the really cool thing is that the this is something that the idea, when it first came up with the idea, some people criticized it, thinking that, oh, well, when you invest, you're not going to get anything back. These people are poor.
Yeah.
The default rate for the microloans is under 1.8% on average,
Wow.
which is extraordinary.
Yeah.
But it's another testament to the fact that, these people are ready. They're industrious, they're intelligent, they're hardworking.
Innovative.
Exactly. In a lot of cases, even more than we are,
Yeah.
because the situation demands it. There's nothing like not being able to feed your kids to really have your back on the wall to get something done. So if we can be part of helping them, establish, that's huge. One lady we've invested in like 3 times, and she went from, like, she had a clothing business at first, and she had tamales, and now she's growing her tamale business. And I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
man.
really cool. So these networks help us get, the microphones to the people.
Cool. So you see, that's what it's all about, empowering others.
Absolutely.
Now, as a social entrepreneur, man, I know launching a business is one of the hardest things you possibly can do. So let's talk a little bit about the challenges you guys are facing right now, and how are you guys getting over those obstacles? What has been the most difficult part so far?
I would say it would be to get the word out.
Okay.
The goal initially, one of the I'll go ahead and be honest. One of the mistakes that I made initially was I was almost a little ahead of myself. I wanted to be a brand of T-shirts where people would buy them and not even necessarily know that our business model is the way it is.
Okay.
Because I thought, how cool would it be if all your regular shopping, you don't even know how it helps people, but it just helps, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, and our shirts are organic, and there's so many benefits that we don't even really talk
Highlight,
about.
yeah.
So, I almost wanted it to be normal.
Yeah, just a regular. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even when just a short side note, when Obama was president, right, or was voted in the president, whatever the feelings are about him, I was almost like, no, let's not even notice the fact his color. Let's just treat it like
he's the president. Yeah.
like he's just president. Like, it's absolutely normal, and we can, like, skip a step ahead, right? So we don't have to do that. And that's how I kind of felt with this one. But the reality is that you can't necessarily do that, because people need to know that right now.
Yeah.
They need to know what you're doing. They need to know all of that, and the brand needs to kind of be one with the idea right now.
Yeah.
So so that change, that was a big thing for me, where I was like, okay, we've got to put the brand, we've got to put the model at the forefront of this brand.
Yeah.
While we're building it. That somebody down the road is going to buy our shirt and not even know about the model. Cool. But right now, they're going to have to know about the model. They're going to know, and that really gives us traction in the market too, a reason for people to come to our store and buy our shirt and wear our stuff and wear it with pride. And it's made a big difference. Like I said, the response from people saying, I really can't wait to be part of your brand. That's a lot different than just, oh, I kind of want your tea, or, I kind of want your product. It's like, I really want to be a part of what you're doing. And honestly, it's a huge added value, because when people buy a shirt, there's the added feeling of like, wow, I'm making a difference in somebody's life.
Yeah. No, man, that's definitely awesome. Now, Adrien, I try to do a very detailed research when I find guests to come on the program, man. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to share with social entrepreneurs, aspiring ones, some business tips. You have your micro videos that you've been doing. Yeah.
You know what? I did a speech at a college the other day, and I go into the class, and he's got the video up there, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
For my viewers,
I did some research on you, and I found these videos.
Yeah. You know, the internet's a very powerful tool. For my viewers,
it is, right?
Adrien has, he has dedicated some time to provide short clips for aspiring social entrepreneurs on how to get their business up and going, and just some advice. For those that are watching right now, man, what would you want to leave them with right now?
One is you have to align all the aspects of your life. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your concept. You have to not make excuses, and you have to just get the job done and do it quickly. I'm a big believer, especially now as I've kind of matured, in once the inspiration hits, either schedule it or get it done immediately.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, you'll wait. I used to do that. Like I used to wait to make a phone call because I was like, oh man, I'm going to approach this person to see if they want to work with me. Well, then I would start building it up in my head, procrastinate the phone call. 1 week, 2 weeks go by. Every time I build up what that phone call could mean, by the time I make the phone call, I'm so nervous I can't even act.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. If inspiration hits, act.
Yeah.
Get it done. You know it. You got that feeling. Everybody's got that feeling where they just know, like, oh, this is it. This is what I got to do. And there's been several of those, I guess, poles or steps in our business. And that was one of them, the one where we changed it to put the model in front. And it was just like, yep, that's exactly what we got to do. Same thing with the designs that we come out with. There's we create 10 designs before one of them gets up on the site.
Yeah. And
we look at the ones and we say, oh, yep, that's the one. One of them, I woke up at 6:30 in the morning and had it in my head, and I was like, I got to do it. And that was actually one of our biggest sellers. That was the green DNA.
Right.
So that's, inspiration hits, do it, and don't make excuses. You don't need $10 million to start a business. You don't need $10,000. You just need to, let your brain kind of loose and just get it and make it happen.
And let it all come together.
Exactly.
Adrien, are we leaving anything out, man?
Man, you know what? I think this was pretty all-inclusive. I think
Appreciate it, man. Man, I just try to get the most out of, you social entrepreneurs that come on the program, man, because, we appreciate it. You guys take time out of your busy day to actually sit down and, really go in depth. Like we talked before, I try not to do the average interview, man. I really want to invoke the passion within you guys so my viewers can see it and get that same passion so they feel confident enough to know that, a fellow human being started this. I could do this as well, and it goes back to what we were talking about in the pre-interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, here you have it, Adrien Edwards, the founder of The Naked Hippie. Go and check out the site. Adrien, it was great having you on the program, man.
Oh, Dwight, man, it was fantastic. I want to just say one more quick thing. I love the format. I love the looseness of it, the realness of it. I think that's where the real value in these come from, is the realness of it. It's not, it's not this superstar put up there, because that's not what people are.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah, it's just real people doing the things they love. So I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure.
No problem, man.